Look, the last I checked, Miss Mufti's talentless daughters have the freedom to say what they are, and it doesn't actually remove the security nishana on them. So, removing security for them doesn't make you safer, less safe, or anything like that. Let's go back to the issue of these so-called doctors, so-called white collar, whatever, who have blown up things. There are such amazing fallacies that have come up during this past 15-20 minutes of debate. You know what Chidambaram has said? Circumstances. If you go back to when Mumbai and the Mumbai terror attacks happened and 26/11 happened, the big chat used to be root causes. Let us get to the root causes of terrorism. There is no root cause of terrorism. Please understand this. There is no circumstances that lead to terror. Osama bin Laden was born into a billionaire family and he still turned out to be a terrorist. The Sri Lankan Easter bombings were carried out by Sri Lanka's second or third richest family. Okay, this is a complete hogwash statement. He's just regurgitating this old root causes nonsense, which has been laid to rest comprehensively. This is a issue laundering. Now, far from what the SP gentleman said, this is like saying, 1971, India lost the 1971 war because 3,000 soldiers were killed. This operation was a success. What happened out here was these guys panicked, whoever was driving the car, and he exploded the bomb precisely because the net was closing in on him. You do not run down your own forces or your government when they actually have a success. Third, why don't you name Pakistan? I have never heard of this. Within 48 hours, you're meant to name Pakistan. You carry out your investigation. You slowly piece together information, intelligence, etc., etc. And when you're ready to name it, I've never heard of this barometer that if you're not named within 48 hours, you're not responsible. I really want to know which law book this comes from or which jurisprudence this comes from. So let us leave all of that aside. The first thing we need to understand is stop looking for root causes. There are none. Terrorists are terrorists. To look for root causes is to victim shame. It is essentially what happens in a rape when you say the girl was out after 8 p.m. She was skimpily dressed. There is one party that does a lot of it out here. We won't name them, of course, but that is what they do, and that is what they're doing again, victim shaming. There are no circumstances. These people were psychos. As for fundamentals, look, every religion has some level of violence in it. There is no religion, that even Christianity, where the God says, turn the other cheek. I will show you the Old Testament. You look at Joshua's conquest of Canaan. Unborn children were meant to be ripped from the mother's wombs and things like that. If the woman survived, she was meant to be sold into slavery. Do you find Jews and Christians going around doing that? They don't, no? Why is it then they blame Wahhabism and Salafism? Why is it that the Saudis and the Emiratis are so well behaved? There is no terrorism out there. Do you see them going around burning things every time Gustakh Rasool or something like that? They don't. They're very civilized people. So why is it that it is interpreting and translating in India in a certain way? The Saudis have a concept of takfir. Takfir isn't a kafir, it is an inferior Muslim. And they fundamentally believe that Indian jurisprudence, Indian Islamic scholars are inferior. They neither get the original context of Islam, nor do they get the interpretation of Islam, nor do they get anything right. They consider Indian Muslims to a large extent to be takfirs. And I think the general commentariat, the Sunni commentariat you've seen in the last 24 hours, be it Rana Ayub or this lady Saima or whoever these 5 clowns are that Tehseen mentioned, they all actually very, very accurately, they are proving the Saudis right. They're proving the Al Saud family right. They're proving Prince bin Nahyan right. They're proving MBZ also right. So congratulations to the Saudi and Emirati royal family. They've hit the right thing. We need to look within us. We need to look within us. Look, the Gita also says...
but that is exactly what Chidambaram is saying. We need to look within us. We need to find out the circumstances.
No. He isn't. No. We need to look within us, the Muslim community, the Sunni. And let's not blame all Muslims. It isn't the Shias going around doing this. It is the Sunnis doing this. The Sunnis need to look within themselves. This isn't us. Abhijit,
well, you're again bringing it back to religion, whereas Whereas nobody here